Between the two teams on the topic, senior high school implementation is necessary. Let me introduce to you our panel of educators. We have our first educator, is Mrs. Jocelyn C, our school assistant principal. Our second educator is Mrs. Pixie Lopez, our reading coordinator. And our third adjudicator is Ma'am Elda Publico, English teacher, and at the same time, our school librarian. We have the proposition team which supports the idea that senior high school implementation is necessary. And we also have the opposing team which opposes the idea that senior high school implementation is necessary. Each group has 3 speakers which will be given 2 minutes to present their arguments and counter-arguments. And each group will only have 1 rebuttal speaker which will be given 4 minutes to present their rebuttal speech. At the end of the debate, the panel of the educator will declare 3 winners: best speaker, best rebuttal speaker, and the winning team. Let me read to you the criteria for judging. Delivery, 30%. Interpretation and content, 30%. Evidence, 25%. And substantive rebuttal, 15%. The winning team is the team that made the most convincing argument. Are you ready now? Our first speaker for the affirmative group is Lovely Charity Ansano, and she will be followed by the first speaker also of the opposition group, which is Danilyn Bayroy. Let's start now.
In the proposition side, why do we need to implement the senior high school program here in the Philippines? Philippines is the last country in Asia and one of the 3 countries having the 10-year cycle educational program. In the Philippines, education remains a top priority. So, as part of the efforts of the present administration to respond to the perceived needs of the education sector, the DepEd had pushed for the implementation of the 12-year cycle program here in our country. This 12-year program is widely adopted around the world, and we are not against for the implementation of senior high school program as part of the 12-year cycle program because it is a law that we must obey as a Filipino citizen, right? Aside from that, we are very lag behind from other countries because they have been strongly practiced this educational system, and we can see that they have many productive individuals exist in the land. And also, they have a very good quality education. But here in our country, many graduates who went abroad are not automatically recognized as professionals abroad. The best example for this is our engineering graduates. They're condemned to international jobs, not befitting their professional status, such as being a janitor, waiter, and other blue-collar jobs. This happened due to not having the 12-year cycle program here in our country. And it was a very sad part for them, for they put sacrifices in their study, but they were just put on blue-collar jobs. But if we have this 12-year program, our dear graduates will automatically recognized as professionals abroad because it is the recognized standard for students and professionals globally. And also, this educational program, it helps to enhance the quality education here in the country. And also, it helps the students to have standard knowledge, skills, competencies they needed when they proceed to college, so that they will not be ignorant learners, for they have the advanced knowledge and skills. And other that who will not proceed to college, the graduates of senior high school can find immediate work because by the time they graduate, they will reach the legal and reliable age of 18, equipped with the entrepreneurship and social skills they have learned from senior high school. Yes?
Just say that when we graduated in senior high school, we will be at the legal and reliable age of 18. But as we observe now, there are many 18 years old or even graduates who are unemployed. What we need is not one additional 2 years basic education, but jobs opportunities that should be our government priority.
They are not employed because they lack skills. Our senior high school offers specialization skills which make our graduates to be employable. And also, our country's objective for this implementation of this program is that to be able to produce more productive and responsible citizens, equipped with essential competencies and skills for both lifelong learning and employment. Senior high school program helps to increase opportunities for extra help and studying, and also for the older students or up youth. They will given the chance to take this study for this program, and also if they graduate, they can help their parents, and also they can help our country to be uplifted from the poverty. That's all. Thank you.
We are against with the estimating of senior high school because of the additional 2 more years to earn a degree. Parents have to shell out more money for transportation, food and allowances for the education of their children. Some parents or guardians have no money to fully support the education of their children in junior high school. But how about in senior high school? They can be fully support the education of their children? No, they can be fully support the education of their children because of the poverty. Many students will become dropped out when additional 2 more years is added in the education. And that 2 more years is just a waste of time, yes?
Why do you say that the parents can afford to support that additional 2 years of their children's education? For in fact, according to our source, our government gives a voucher in every student that will enroll in senior high school and private schools. In the amount of 14,000 pesos, it's a big deal to reduce their obligations in schools.
But that voucher is only the tuition fee. How about the food, transportation, and the allowances? It is still parents are obliged to supply this. Why we want to compare our country to other countries? We have our own culture and tradition, so that we must not compare our country to another country. If we use our brains and we are not as lawful, our country must not be the poverty. We are all intelligent, so that we need our own decision and plan to help to improve the educational system of our country. The other reason why we are against with the estimating senior high school are the gap during the transition, depending on how the change is made. Some schools ask some of their faculty to go for law and have no pay during the transition. How can government pay the free education since it doesn't even money to fully support tenure, and it is still lack of buildings and classrooms, lack of free aero textbooks, lack of qualified teachers, and lack of furniture and equipment, yes?
You said that there are still lack of classrooms for the K-12 or the senior high school implementation. According to our source, there are 66,813 classrooms back in the year of 2010 to 2013. And there are also new item teachers, which is 128,105 in...
But senior high school is already enjoyed. As we see now, our school and the other school is not yet have a storage building for the same program.
Yes? You said that our school is still not having a building for K-12? Yes, but according to our source, November is the exact time or the exact month for the 2-story building constructing for the senior high school implementation.
Let's just find out. You cannot foretell for it is just about to happen. That's all. Thanks.
In the proposition side, why is there a need to implement the senior high school here in the Philippines? As what the first speaker said in the whole thing, that the poverty is the main problem in our country. Yes, she has the point. So, why are you opposing this curriculum? Don't you know that the government is thinking that this curriculum is the only and the last key to commit the success? This curriculum will help us lessen the poverty in our society. And as what she said earlier also, that the parents will share more money because of the said 2 years of education added. Yes, she has the point also. But I know that we all know here that sharing money of parents for their children is a part of their obligations, where they need to share money for their children so that they can finish their studies. And also, after we graduated in this curriculum, we can find a legal job. And it is the time to return all the sacrifices of our parents in order for us to finish our studies. And also, we can help our parents listen their obligations. According to our source, this curriculum aims the young learners ready to face a brighter future here and abroad, like us, the students of this curriculum. And also, this curriculum has 4 tracks where the learners may pursue, namely, the academic track, the sports track, the technical vocational track, the art and the science track. And according to our stories also, there are some programs of the government that will help the learners of this program. One of these programs is the program of the Department of Education, where the learners of the senior high school will pay no tuition fee, or in other words, it's free. So parents will only prepare for the other expenses of the learner. Example of this is the food and transportation, etc. Then also, the students who are planning to transfer in a private school who offers senior high school will receive a voucher. And that voucher costs enough to pay the expenses of the particular school. That's all. Thank you.
As a second speaker of the opposing team, I am also against the implementation of the said cycle of education is the K-12 based education curriculum. Tracking curriculum, we can do it in 10 years. What everyone else in the world takes 12 years to do, why do we have to follow what the rest of the world is doing? Actually, Filipinos right now are accepted in some prestigious events in the world with the only 10 years of basic education. So in short, even with 10 years of education, it can enhance us potentially as skilled individuals. Short years was not a process. The only thing that is specialized is the content of 10 years of education. In fact, countries like Japan who are specialized in digital are doing their skill specialization not on the last years of the K-12 education, but within their classes. Within their class subjects, and with kindergarten or nursery students are capable of doing it. As what they're doing, and we can achieve all of these tracks within 10 years. So in short, our concept in the 10 years education was the problem that needs to be resolved to be more productive and progressive country. So we don't need to apply the 2 additional years for education in our country. Our country many problems of the current 10 years curriculum, and it has nothing to do with numbers of years. To enumerate a few, there are not enough qualified teachers to teach all the students. That is made worse with just too many students in our country. There are not enough classrooms and schools to comfortably fit all the students. We have not enough bathrooms also and water supply. There are not enough books, and the problems of poor quality books. On top of that, there are not enough facilities, and finally, very high dropout rates. The latter, high dropout rate is being caused by something out of the education system but affects a large part of the population: poverty. As of now, with the 10-year curriculum, there is already a desperate lack of classrooms and schools. The public schools cannot turn the students away when they show up to enroll. To cope, many public schools have crammed as many students as they can inside the classrooms, with classrooms crammed with the chairs from wall to wall. Not enough, the schools conduct classes in at least shifts. In some instances, classes held very early in the morning till late in the evening. Thank you.
Implementing 12-year curriculum. It is because the 10-year basic education is not enough for the newly graduates to get jobs here and abroad. They are not prepared for the world of work or entrepreneurship because they are too young to enter the labor force. The short duration of the basic education program also puts the millions of overseas Filipino workers, especially the professionals and those who intend to study abroad, at a disadvantage. Our graduates are not automatically recognized as professional abroad because they are in a 10-year basic education. The best examples are our engineering graduates who condemn to international jobs not befitting the professional status due to our not having a 12-year education program. A 12-year program is found to be the best period for learning under basic education. It is also the recognized standards for students and professionals globally. As what the first speaker said in the opposing side, having senior high school with 2 more years in spending money, Yes, of course, but we need to show sacrifices today in order to reap the fruitful benefits in the future. As what the second speaker in the proposing side, K-12 curriculum is the only key to lessen the number of people experiencing poverty and hungerness. Yes, I agree with what you say, because if the students graduate in this additional 2 years, they can find stable jobs that can help them in the future. As what said, the sacrifices we saw today are the sources of the fruitful benefits we will reap in the future, more than the promise of stronger and quality members of the Filipino workforce and alternative choices for employment. The senior high school program is a fertile ground to cultivate the next year's generation. Good morning and thank you.
There are no advantages. An extra 2 years deprives the family of income in a society where the issue of poverty has not been addressed. If I may add, there is no advantage today. Most of those who finish college will find that they need massive corporate training to keep up with the demands of the professional life. In technical fields, you might be slow, but you will learn as you go along. One cannot be truly prepared in 10 or 12 years of education. The goal of education here in the Philippines must be defined. Does the Philippines want to become like the United States as a technology center? Unless there is something compelling, it may take another generation to surpass the United States. Learning in the United States has one simple principle: access to many fields in interest through a multitude of media and experts available to help kids in high school. These are the better issues to address now, without a significant transformation of the support needed for kids to attain excellence K-12. We do realize that there are many college graduates who launch quite early in the employment game, and they often without jobs. But this onward argues for the strategy that the employment problem must be resolved. K-12 graduates will only face the same problem. As we can see today, the government does not have enough money to pay for the 2 more years of free education, since it does not even have the money to fully support today's 10 years. DepEd must first solve the lack of classrooms, furniture, and equipment, qualified teachers, and error-free textbooks. As what our second speaker said, we can do in 10 years what everyone else in the world takes 12 years to do. Why do we have to follow the rest of the world is doing? Right? We are better than all of them. Why the students are stuck? Yes.
Yes, you said that we're better than all of them. But why there are still professional graduates that don't have stable jobs? As what I said earlier, there are many overseas Filipino workers sacrificing abroad and working as janitors and janitresses, etc. That in fact, many of them are professionals here in the Philippines.
Yes, there are many professionals, college graduates, sacrificing to go abroad. But what if they try to serve or they work here in our country so that they help in building up the economy of our country, not the economy of the other nation? And while the students stuck in the grades 11 and 12, colleges and universities will have no freshmen for 2 years. This will financial disaster for many private higher education. As far as the curriculum concerned, DepEd should fix the current subject instead of adding new others. The problem is the content, not the length of the basic education. We need a better education, not more education. Thank you.
Next is the rebuttal speech. We will start with the rebuttal speech of the opposition team, Hardy Tabak, and he will be followed by the rebuttal speech of the proposition team, Jiklo Tesoro.
If the proposition side disagrees with our opposition, we also disagree about their theories. Yes, theories, for these things are yet to come. Your said sources could be unreliable and they are annoying. And even though they are true, the reality about the breach in our educational system bites the fine looks of the senior high implementation in our country. Our point in our position is additional years is not equal to quality education. In an in-country study on the length of the school cycle and quality of education, they concluded there is no basis to expect that lengthening of the lengthening of the basic education will guarantee us quality education. If the plan is still adopted, pretty soon the problem would be how to cut off a 12-year poor quality education. It's because we still have problems in terms of the content of former 10-year basic education in our country. We have existing problems in our public school system that have to be plugged. There's the word shortages everywhere. They said that there are 66K plus classrooms built, yet it is not enough for the whole country. And this problem to the former 10-year basic education in our country are concerns that are not directly addressed by the K-12 implementation. Without addressing first these problems, the senior high proposal would inevitably appear as a giant step to a wrong direction. Are we not alarmed that this curriculum is oriented more toward the global labor market, which we say only feeds the labor export policy? For economic stability and national development that can be reaped by the future generations. The subject for this matter should be the jobless among the students who are determined to go to college immediately, serve their own country, not extending their services to foreigners. Whenever one thinks about the educational system, it should be about our own national development. Which path are we taking to become prosperous? Is it through the export of labor or through enhancing our national industry? This just means producing a client force for us students to fill in the global demand just for semi-skilled and cheap laborers. As we can see, many prosperous countries and stable economy are the ones who export goods through the help of their own national industry, while us Filipinos are stuck and left behind in exporting human services and labors. Instead of using our skills to modernize our nation and stay in our territory, professionals, especially engineers, as you've said, just choose to be a welder abroad because of lacking supports from the government in terms of finances and every plan of some projects and inventions. See, our government was just focusing on the demands of other countries instead of taking care of their own. Promoting our professionals here and not abroad and modernize our country, this can be achieved with a newly enhanced 10-year basic education. This will deliver the country from poverty, the main reason why we go to school, right? And our last point, senior high school implementation is competence-based program that deliver us from incompetency before other countries and not deliver us from our current issue, the country's poverty. And as for the first speaker, the proposition team said, being a responsible citizen is taking care of the domestic and not the global labor market. That's all, thank you.
Advantages of the K-12 curriculum. Rebuttal speech of the proposition group. I strongly disagree about what speaker number 1 from the opposing group said. You just told us that there are a lot of inadequate materials for the K-12 student. Our sources tells us that we are ready and about to begin the implementation of K-12 curriculum without any vexed questions. For the classroom matters, DepEd has already built 66,800 classrooms from 2010 to 2013. There are 33,608 classrooms completed and undergoing construction in 2014. As of DepEd is planned to establish 5,899 senior high schools nationwide. As of April 30 of the present year, DepEd issued provisional permits to 1,866 private schools set to offer senior high school in 2016. From 2010 to 2014, DepEd has filled 128,105 new teachers items. DepEd is targeting two kinds of teachers, assigned on the core subject and the other one is on the specialized subject. On the textbook concerns, learning materials are being produced for the elementary and junior high, while textbooks for senior high school or the specialized subjects are being bid out. This K-12 curriculum is standard and competence-based. It is inclusive and built around the needs of the teachers and the community. As we knew that our high school graduates are not automatically recognized as professionals abroad, this indicates that we are clearly not qualified or we did not attain their qualities besides from having poor results in ranks or in some statistical education ranks. Besides, We believe that the government has a great goal of solving problems regarding the education in our country. This may include hardship and sacrifice of our country's very own citizen, and it's us. K-12 could enhance the quality of basic education in the Philippines even if it is urgent and critical. The poor quality of basic education is reflected in the low achievement scores of the Filipino students. One reason is that students do not get adequate instructional time or time on task. This quality of education is reflected in the inadequate preparation of high school graduates for the world of work, entrepreneurship, or higher education. For the posting team, if tenures were adequate, how come employers do not hire fresh high school graduates? How come most high school graduates climb the upcat? The short basic education program affects the human development of the Filipino children. If we believe that 17 years old high school graduates are emotionally, psychologically, and intellectually mature, why do we require them to get parent consent when they get married? Senior high school don't guarantee employment, but it creates opportunities. Standard requirements will be applied to make sure graduates knows enough to be hireable. You will now be able to apply for TESDA Certificate of Competency or COC and National Certificate to provide you better work opportunities. Partnership with different companies will be offered for technical and vocational courses. You can now get work experience while studying, and companies can even hire you after you graduate. You can also start your own choosing business where entrepreneurship courses will be included. We didn't say that we must have to imitate the other countries' ways of education, but try to consider they are now experiencing superiority above all nations, especially the USA. At the first place, they also suffered a bit when they started to implement this curriculum. Be sensitive, guys. There are a lot of ideas that support for the progression of our country, but it is in our hands if we cooperate or not. Those overseas Filipinos don't work for the others, but they are trying to uplift their Filipino family from poverty. A poverty that we can fight with the help of more generalized education. That's all. Thank you.
We just have heard their arguments and their counter-arguments. It will be in the hands of our adjudicators who will declare the winning team. The winning team which made the most convincing arguments. And let me... how are you going today? So we will wait for our adjudicator to declare the winning team, the best team, the proposition team or the opposition team. Who is the best team today that convince the audience, that convince us? So, ma'am, are you ready to declare the best team? Ma'am, may I call our second adjudicator, Ma'am Pepsi Lopez, to declare the best team. Okay, so wait. Okay, we will wait for them to declare the best team. So anyway, the best team will be agreed by the group. It's only the best speaker and the best rebuttal speaker which will be judged according to the criteria. Thank you.
Good morning, dear students. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate you all for having rendered such a lovely performance like that. No, so I would like to congratulate you all. Shall we give everybody a resounding applause? Actually, we were amazed with how you performed a while ago, no, and so it would be an achievement for all of us, no, teachers, no, to witness you speak in such a way that